Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Bradshaw, and this is my daughter and teaching assistant. What's your name? Madeline. Madeline just finished cheerleading camp today, so we're a little pumped up. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And she is going to help us talk about body biographies because she was good enough to create one for me. And who is your body biography about? Who's that, Madeline? Who is it, Madeline?
George!
George who?
Washington.
Okay, so George Washington is your favorite what?
President.
It's her favorite president. And we took a trip to Washington, D.C. about 2 weeks ago. And she got to see the Washington Monument and George Washington's picture in the portrait gallery. And we went to his house, which is called, do you remember? It's in Virginia, but it's Mount what?
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon, right? While we were at Mount Vernon, we got this book, and we read this book yesterday. And so that's really what her body biography is based on. It's the stuff that we saw on our trip, a little bit of what she learned in school, and this book. So body biographies can be a great activity to go with a nonfiction text that you're reading with your students. Just to give you a little information about this text, it follows the story of a dog that George Washington finds after a battle, and it turns out to be the British general's dog. And don't eat George Washington's head. And instead of hurting the dog or getting rid of the dog or even keeping the dog, they decide to George Washington decides to return the dog to the British general. And you can even see in the back that it's actually based on primary sources, and you can see a note back here that they made a photocopy of, which is basically George Washington say, "Hey man, I got your dog, come pick him up." So that is the story that we use to create. You showing your body biography? Body biography of George Washington. He's super cute. Madeline did a really good job on his hair. So I'm going to ask Madeline the questions that are on yours that you have to answer, and she is going to read her responses to it. Okay? You ready? All right. So what did George Washington love? Who or what did he love?
Martha and his country.
Okay, so Martha was who?
His wife.
His wife.
He loves dogs.
He loved dogs, and we got that from this book right here. Okay. All right. And
he loves his home.
He did love his home. That's right. She drew a little picture of a dog and his house here too.
Running across the field.
And he's running across the field. What goals did George Washington have? What was his goal?
With beating the English.
Beating the English in the war, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He wanted to beat the English during the war. And what ideas did he stand for? What did he want? What was the foundation he was trying to do?
He wants his new country. Oh, his new country.
His new country. Yeah, he really believed in his new country. And she drew a picture of the Washington Monument on here to represent his new country. Okay, and where did he live?
He lived in Virginia.
In Virginia? And what was the name of his house?
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon. Good. And what made him who he was? What was the main thing that made him who he was?
Being a good soldier.
Being a good soldier. All right. And what challenges did he face? What mistakes did he make? Slavery. So he owned slaves, right?
Yeah.
Did he own a few slaves or a lot of slaves?
100 slaves.
He owned a lot of slaves, okay. And what makes him happy? What makes him happy?
Family, Martha, his country, freedom.
Wow. A lot of things. And final question, Miss Madeline.
And
Hold on. I gotta
honor.
ask you. So what does he think about? He thinks about honor. So tell me a reason that you wrote honor down.
cause he returned the general's dog without killing it, cause he could kill it very easy. But this guy is really nice. Say, hey dude, hey dude.
Hey, dude. All right. Say adios, Madeline. We'll see you later.
Adios, folks.
All right. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure you guys saw this. So again, here is Madeline's body biography. So she is a rising second grader, so she has a mixture of pictures and little bullet points that she answered. She's trying to sneak back over here. You can use this for your non-readers. And they could just draw pictures to answer your questions, or you could have the upper grade levels where they are, writing just bullet points instead of drawing pictures. So you scaffold it the way that you want to do it. For your own body biographies that you're creating, you are not needing to write full-on paragraphs. Bullet it like you would do, like you would expect your students to do. Something a little more sophisticated probably than this, but you're welcome to decorate it and do all of those things, because making good models is part of being a great teacher, so that your students have some examples to go by. And again, for your body biography, you want to read that chapter by James Lowen, which talks about heroification in history, and connect it to what you're doing in this activity. No more than a paragraph. And the reason I have body biography is that I will tell you, when Madeline discovered that George Washington had slaves, she's like, I don't think he's my favorite president anymore. And I said, but Madeline, you have to think about the whole picture. And so we have a place on here for discussion about his challenges and the things that, were things that he needed to work on as a person. But by asking these specific questions, they're forced to look at the whole person. So, of course, slavery is horrible and terrible, but that's not the only thing that defines George Washington. So you want them to look at many different aspects of him and many different perspectives of him. So that's why I love body biographies. And like I said, you can scaffold them up and scaffold them down. For your assignment that's due on Friday, you want to make sure that they have that you have the paragraph that connects it to the reading, and that you have your body biography posted. And that's it. I hope you guys have a great weekend, or rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing your body biographies later this week. All right. Sorry for all the tongue twisters. See you later.